Alright, so let's make the weapon a base class, because if we don't do that, we cannot have custom based weapons. And for shotguns, we have a complete different code for shotguns, and many other weapons might have really different code. So we're gonna allow custom scripts to override the original base class. So what we're gonna do first is come here into the actual weapon script and rename it to weapon base. Copy that and rename the actual name of the file, paste it, save it. So let's save it. Once it's saved, let's come back in here. Now this is a weapon base, which means we can easily override it. Now we're getting an error already, and it says we are swap weapon. This doesn't work because we're passing in a wrong one. I mean, it wants a weapon and we're giving weapon base. So this error can be fixed very simply. Just replace all the weapons with weapon base. So let's do that. We can't rename this element, so let me just do it the proper way. So put it back to weapon, and then do command RR or control RR and rename it to weapon base. Now the error should not come because everything has been replaced. Let's just remove this code that I had commented out. Alright, and we have now successfully made this weapon base class, which means we can create any class inheriting from it, and then I can make some functions which are functions that can be overridden by the other class that inherits from it. So let's go into the scripts folder and create a new script. Give it a name shotgun, as that's the problem we're tackling right now. Then let's go into the shotgun script and inherit from weapon base. Alright, so that's one thing done. So now we have a class for shotgun only. So let's just create an empty script, an empty game object to test our shotgun script. And what I want you to see is all the fields in the weapon base are here as well. So we have done the job now. All we need to do is override functions that we want to and allow that to be overridden, and that we'll do afterwards. So in the next part, we're just gonna get the model shotgun set up and begin setting it up with the SOs and stuff. So let's get a model from the asset store to begin. It's called shotgun set. Get it from there. Alright, thanks. Import it into your project, and here we're gonna use the Benelli M4, and we've scaled it to 0.03. Delete the testing shotgun and set this to 0.03 after dragging the prefab into your scene. So we can now begin actually renaming it to a mesh and unpacking it. Alright, then create an empty game object inside it, call it the animation, then create models, rename some stuff, and drag the correct things accordingly into the correct empty game objects. So models and stuff go in the models, the things that we're going to use for animation go in the animation. So we can call this bullpen, but I'm not going to be using this in the animation. It's just put there. The trigger is an animation thing, it can be animated. Side is not, just put it there. Alright, I'm not sure about these two. I think they go in animation, but I'll put that. So let's drag the back of the weapon, main barrel, holder, drag that all into the models, but stocks, and yeah, drag and stuff. So we can put all the models. Yeah, so the body is also model, it's not animated. Barrel D, it's also a forward part, so just drag that down into the models. Then we have this, I don't know what this is, but just put it inside the models as well. We have the back body, that's also a model, everything in the now these two are left, and yeah, it's actually part of animation, so just drag these two into animation. Now we can save our project, and our rotations are correctly working, so everything seems okay here. Now let's go into let's create an empty game object outside and call it the Benelli M4. and then reset both of them and drag this one in here. Don't reset the meshes scale because that's what we won't do. Now we're gonna just set up everything correctly. So yeah, just get the pivot point correctly done, change the values, save the project, add the shotgun script. So we got the shotgun script, just fix the pivot more. This will actually be modified when we drag it into the play and play it. So that's the time when we'll see what's actually happening. For now, we just keep it like this. So now we have the script. Let's assign AK-47. Let's duplicate that one and rename it. So the name of this is, there you are, so Benelli M4, and just put it inside some folders. Let's create rifle folder, put in all the rifles in there, create another folder, pistols, drag the pistols, create another folder, shotguns, and from rifle just take the Benelli M4. So there you are. Now we have some organization. Rename the weapon's name. It's a precast type. You can choose projectile if you want. Then for the icon, well, we have an icon, I think. So for Benelli M4, there it is. That's the icon we need. So let's just duplicate the weapons, call it the Benelli M4, and go into the spread editor. Command D every single one, or just delete maybe if you're on Windows. So I remove every one of them except the one I want. So that's done. Apply it and get out of the window. You have the shotgun done. So now just close everything and assign the icon correctly. So here we have the icon. Drag that in there. Now the crosshair, I'm gonna go with I think I should go with this one here. So I'm going with this one, and then you can just save it. So that's really it. Right, so we're just gonna add a field for allowing weapons to modify their reloading time. So that's pretty essential because a shotgun will have to modify that in real time. So remove some code from the player controller that was no longer needed. We'll remove the state as well later on. So just come here and remove this state. So wait, come in the basic script first. The weapon SO, we can actually begin defining the field. So let's copy this, paste that, and make a new field for reloading animation time. Will not need for a tooltip. Then let's just copy that variable, paste it in here, use the serialized property thingy, and then let's just get the name again. So copy that, paste, equal to a serialized property.find, serialized object.find property of type, and then get that. So now we can just draw the property field. And in here we can change the wait amount. So before it was 2 seconds, now we can just set it to the current weapon data's reloading time. Now let's come in here, everything, just close everything up, everything's going good. So we're done almost. Yeah, just go in here and comment out the reloading function, because every weapon will now handle everything, and every weapon's animation will do the events. Every weapon will also have control over the player controllers, things like getting some small stuff that are needed. That's how I'm gonna go. So save everything and we're done with this part. Back with the code and the animator setup and everything else needed. So first of all, you'll see that we have this thing inside the player, and we've got a few fields. We've got the short load clip and some more stuff that we have added, some animations. Well, how you will start is, for the animations, you can duplicate this one, rename it to our gun name and the thing. Then you can come in here, create 3 new animations by removing the others. For idle, we can just keep it idle, and you can see I have actually duplicated AK-47s, reloading stuff, and a new folder for this one. Here we have all the animations. So you have to have 4 animations: idle, which does nothing, empty, and then you have this one, which is from below. So load bullet from below. I'll just show all of them, and then load below bullet from below loop. That's basically the looping point. I'll show everything, don't worry. Then there's another one which is load bullets from the side. That's the other one, final one. So now in the animator, just have to put these just like that. We're gonna use the go to state or the play function in the animator to call all of these. I'll just show you the code in a small while. So once that's done, can come out of that. I've also created a weapons folder which has all the weapons. That's all. So now let's show you what we've done. Make sure to add an animator, of course, and assign the correct animator controller. Then shotgun, you'll see I've also created the hands-eye targets, just like we always do. In the mesh, you'll have a look. So I've also added the fire point, the muzzle flash effect. So all that's done. We still have the scale correctly done. Let me just show you one more thing. So in the hand-eye target, you have the targets all done. But if you look inside the left-hand eye target, we have a bullet shells empty game object, and we've set this to override the normal scale because it's 0.03, so 33.33. That way we can get the actual thing done for the shotgun shell to put. Now this is actually prefab. Originally it was inside here. If you check it out inside the art, you'll get it from the shell. You'll get red, copper and stuff, but you should find that somewhere. It's in the prefab folder, so I'm looking somewhere else. So this shell, this one, is actually not good. Once you drag it inside, you can just go here, unpack it, and then you can basically, let me just show you. As you can see, the pivots are all done correctly as well, so you will see the size seems realistic as well. What I did is I removed the parent, unpacked the prefab, and just got these three out of that, then created an empty game object and just set the position to this guy, and then made them all three childs of a shell modifier. Right, it does nothing really, it's just empty. And then you have the actual parent, which is just a child of the bullet shells. Alright, that's all. And it's the same for the right hand as well. So we have from both sides have it. Of course, yes, we have added these without showing how to do that, but it's quite simple to do it. So then after that you can just make it a prefab and make sure to apply everything you have done. Of course, you need to add a box slider, a cinemachine impulse source, assign the reference to it, set it to 6, total ammo, all assignments. You don't need a mag parent. So that's actually all the animated setup or anything outside of the animated setup. Now let's move on to the actual the animations that we have made. Yeah, the actual animations. We can have a look at them in play. So as you can see, select the weapon, go into animation mode, select the weapon default below, and now you'll see I've made quite a lot of animations. So at the 60th frame, we'll have a look. So you can see, so it starts by taking the left hand down, rotating everything. That's the load from below. It's gonna go and actually get it's gonna get a bullet from there. You see it gets up a bullet from here. 35th frame, we enable the left hand shell. This is now enabled, so we actually keyframe this thing, check it up right away at this frame. Then once we go to the point of putting it inside, you'll see what I've done here. Sadly this gun doesn't actually have anything that I can disable or enable, but we still fake it. So you'll see the bullets going inside, and once it does go inside, you will see we turned off. So that's the keyframe. 70, we turn it off, and then our hand comes out, and then we actually call a function or an event, you can say. At the 90th frame, we call on finished load bullet from below, which we're just gonna add in our code. I'm just gonna show you what I've done, and then after this thing's done, this is basically the looping point if we have more bullets to load. That's how I've actually made the framework. So then you can just put your hand back on the weapon. That is the first clip. Then we have below loop, which is the same exact thing of that one. It's literally a copy of this one, but instead the starting is slightly different. You'll see I've copied the 90th frame of this one. So I just selected this one and copied it and pasted it right here, meaning it starts from the looping point, allowing us to make a nice looping system, which means one by one can add the bullets that are left, and then it just does the same thing that animation does, and then puts it inside, and then also calls the function event, the same thing. And of course we also have a function for play the push bullet in audio clip, which is in the other one as well. and the same arrest. So it's all just a copy of the other one, just the starting is different. So then the final one. Now this one is slightly more complex. We have also touched this thing here, this thing, right, this one. So what happens in this one is it's a completely new clip. We rotate the weapon that way, it goes down, and at the 30th frame we enable the right one, I think. Let me have a look. So you'll see that we have actually enabled the shotgun shell. It's disabled, enabled, disabled, enabled. So the right hand one is now enabled, and then it goes up. You put the bullet inside this place, so you can see there's a space that we just opened up using our, you can see it's gonna open up once we are about to reload. So you see, there you are, it just opens right away. Nobody can see that happening. And then the bullet is put inside. We play the gun audio clip, and then once that's done, not done yet, we still have to like press something here. For some reason this model doesn't have that, but once you press that, this thing is closed. At the same time, to the same clip again, so the same audio clip is played using the function of the animation event, and then we just go back straight to the normal positions. So here you are, we come back to the normal point, and then we call a function an event, and this is on finished loading from bullet from side. So that's all the animations you have to make on your own. I know it's hard, and if you don't want to do it, it's okay, because at the end I will have to like make this public. And yes, in this video you'll have a link in the description for getting the latest Unity package, as that's what I'm going to give you, which you can import into an empty project every time, or even if you import that previously, you could replace all the contents. And yes, I actually have changed a lot of things. It was my assets, I made Hamza Khan, added the scenes and samples and many other things in here that are needed, and then I export the package and I'll give a link to you guys, so don't worry about that until asset store. I put this on the asset store, so once the link will be removed once we have put it on the asset store. Of course it's going to be free on the asset store as well. So that's all of the animator stuff. Now I'm just going to show you the code real quick. I'm in the weapon base class, and you can have a look at the changes. Firstly, there's almost no change in the starting point, nothing at all. We have a reference to player controller, everything is the same, but we have actually fixed a problem. I'll remove this comment, I'll show you what I've done. Nothing has changed in the update function, none of the shoot function either. Lots of changes means lots of changes, so this has now become a virtual void, unless it was already a virtual void. Then we have a function, you can have a look at this one, just copy it from my screen if you can, or write it by having to look at it again. So it's a function called from the animation event, plays the audio source once the mag in out clip, which we have a reference up here. Sorry, this is the weapon base class, right? So we have a reference. Yep, this is the default code for every weapon. Okay, every weapon will call this. We check if it's the left hand, animation.event string enter, and then we just select the left hand. So make sure to set the left hand, because every gun which takes its mag out with the left hand must set this value of the animation event data when it calls this function to left hand. Alright, if you don't, then it's gonna do something odd which you will not like. Then we can set the mag parent to mag parent. Now this is again playing the audio clip. Then it sets everything correctly to the mag, everything's done. But for normal weapons, we'll only be calling this function. Custom ones may or may not. We need to do the bullets loading code, because bullet loading has been removed. I'll show you in a minute for the player controller. Alright, then we have this thing. Check total ammo is greater than some logic, and oops, sorry, we just do the code. Alright, now spawn mag at mag position. We just create a new game object. Spawn mag equal to instantiate. We create a new copy of the mag. We set it to the mag's position and rotation. We say spawn mag.transform set parent null, because we want it to fall freely onto the ground from the actual position. Then we say if we get the component rigid body is kinematic false. Otherwise, if we don't get the component of rigid body, if the mag has been not given a rigid body, we'll add it ourselves. Nobody cares, right? So, and then we just need to set this to continuous dynamic. Then we create a new decal destroyer. We need to assign that so that it's destroyed. We can set the lifetime to 5 seconds. That's pretty enough. Then we have a new function, play reload audio clip. This one literally just played the reload audio clip. Then we have the rest the same. Yep, set current weapon and everything else is same. Yes. Yep. Okay, so that's the weapon base. Close that out. Next is the shotgun. You can see a lot of changes have been done this one. First, we've done the custom shotgun comment. Let's have a look at this. Animation names, load bullet from side, the name of that one, the name of the load bullet from low loop state, the below from only below state, the time of each one of these, the looping animation time, the below animation time, and the side animation time. Then we have the shotgun audio clips, the push bullet in audio clip. You can get that from somewhere else. I actually don't have a link for that because I kind of had to make that up myself. Then we have this helps with reloading. We have two variables, private ones, bullets loaded and bullets to load. Okay, they are useful. Then we override the update function. We say okay, public override void update. We call the base update. If you don't do this, then your sway will stop working. I'm not sure why, but that's what happens. Then you can come in here. We have a public override void start reloading. Now this one overrides the actual one, which is over here. We defined it as a virtual void, so we can override it. Alright, cool. And we define the bullets head difference from max size. Done. We go down, check if we have enough to complete. This is set up here. Bullets to load equal to that, and then we set it to low. Otherwise, it's to total ammo. Bullets loaded is 0 because that's what it is at the starting point. Check if the current ammo is more than 0, which means it's not empty. Then we do this complex type of calculation, which calculates the time that this loading will take. So weapon data, the reloading animation time, is equal to, make sure to add this first, and this one till multiplied by another one. So this guy minus 1, like this guy minus 1, multiplied by this guy, and then the whole thing of this is then added to this one. Alright, cool. Then we play the load bullet from below animation. Well, play function and make sure to set everything to 0 because it might not give you the results you're looking for if you don't. The layer is 0 and the normalized time is 0. Then in the else statement we just call the other one, but this time it's -2. And we also need to add the side animation time. You can see we then put the brackets on these two. So they add this one first, then does this calculation here, and then adds them together. Then we just play the load from bullet side instead. And of course we need to set the trigger reload. So if you do want to just do it, so we do this because it just says the trigger reload. I could remove this, there'll be no difference. Just for keeping that there, I think it makes sense. Alright, this is another animation function. Animation event on finished load bullet from side. It increments current ammo and bullets loaded, but decrements total ammo. Checks if the bullets loaded are lesser than bullets to load still, then we still play the load bullet from below. Then it says on finished load bullet from below. If that is done, we just do the same thing we did in the previous function. Check the same thing, but now this time we play the below loop one because we played the below once. And then we have a simple function that plays the push bullet in function audio clip that plays that correct audio clip, and that's the shotgun script. Now I made some changes to this script actually. So if you see, we have set this code here like this: current weapon dot controller equals this. Current weapon dot is current weapon is equal true. Now we have this new function. It's called set IK followers to targets, and you pass in current weapon dot and IK targets. So let me show you what this function really is. Come on, let's go to definition. Here it is. So instead of doing all this code here, let's remove it now because we've done the job. It's a function which does all of the code that was previously here instead of this function. That's all it does, and we instead just call this one function with the new weapon and hand targets. Set IK to targets. It does every single one of them on its own. You just call it once. That's why in the start function we do it. But we still have this function that we used to use earlier. But we also want to say one more thing I have not added in this place is that the new weapon dot controller, the controller is equal to this. So we must make sure that that happens, just in case the weapon is using a reference. By default, we are not using anything of the player. Yeah, but just so that if anybody wants to use it, then it's available. See, custom weapons have been enabled, so you can do that. And that's pretty much all the code I think I have changed. If there's anything not working at the same, then maybe there's something I've changed. However, I think nothing has changed except that this thing. Then yes, that's pretty much all of the stuff. I will just search for my comment. Changes. Changes. Nothing is visible, nothing is coming. Nope. But something was found. That's all just change, not changes. So that's pretty much it for the player controller class. We can now close every single thing, except that I need to still show you how the reloading has been changed. So as you will see, this is just like that. Everything is the same. Did not modify the IK weight at all. Just keep that there. No problem with that. But the reloading time has been very simplified. It's just, is reloading equal true, and you'll return wait time. Is reloading is false. Very simple. You will see that. So perfectly fine. And yep, that is actually going to be the end of this part. And I know it feels quite short, but I just had to do this change, otherwise it would take more than an hour.